It's important to look at wild habitats of whatever species we are keeping and aim to replicate that in part to the best of our ability. That is the focus of this video, redesigning the Mexican black kingsnake enclosure in a way that encourages natural behaviours, and that's coming up. This channel is dedicated to improving reptile welfare with science and good information sources. If you want to stay up to date with science-based care for your reptiles, then click the subscribe button and press the bell icon for future information. The main commentary for this video was recorded at the time of doing the viv via phone. Now that that's out of the way, let's switch to that now. So this is my male Mexican black kingsnake's enclosure, or viv, whatever you want to call it. As you can see, it's pretty barren. I've let it get pretty rubbish, to be fair. I've taken bits out of it to add to other enclosures to make things look better, and this has got quite barren, so I spent quite a lot of money today on lots of new stuff, and we're going to do this up properly. You'll have to excuse the scratching because my female bearded dragon is laying down there. I put that bit of slate there so it's kind of a hide burrow sort of thing. The last time I put slate in, it kind of decreased the amount of time she was scratching up the floor for, because she's actually wearing down her front digits at the moment. So hopefully she lays those infertile eggs soon. But yeah, so I spent a good odd 50 quid on lots of slate and lots of materials. I've been going off lots of source material for the Sonoran Desert. I've joined quite a few Facebook groups for Sonoran Desert enthusiasts in America. I'm using all their media and all their videos to try and get a good reference to replicate. When you start researching where your animal's from, you start to realise how poor your enclosures are at replicating their natural environment. So I'm pretty much going to scrap all my enclosures and start again over the period of this quarantine, because I'm going to make use of the time that I have. If you look at this is the enclosure that I set up for that little California kingsnake that I've got in quarantine. It looks pretty cool, but it does not look like the Sonoran Desert whatsoever after I've been using source material and stuff. I mean, these little succulents here, these are African, that grass is Mediterranean, and that's just English oak at the back there. So I'm going to scrap this again, and I'm going to do it properly. I've actually ordered some native Sonoran plant seeds online, so I'm going to go full out on replicating the natural environment. I've got some desert marigolds, I've got some brittle bush, I think the other seeds were I bought. I know they're going to be massive in the enclosure, but I'm going to have to trim them down constantly. But I'm going to get this to the point where it's basically a little slice of Sonoran Desert. The thermostat for this actually broke, so I now have to tear it apart anyway to replace the thermostat. So I literally have to scrap it to even get to the point where I can get the thermostat probe out. So this was always going to be scrapped anyway. It's a shame because it looks really cool. I mean, this would really, without the succulents there, this would really suit a corn snake. It's got that woodland vibe. So my male Monty has been in the enclosure for around 4 hours now, and he in himself is quite timid and nocturnal. He rarely comes out and basks like my female does, so he is very shy. You can see him in the back left there. He was doing that quite a lot, where he just comes out and he'll stick out his head from different crevices and just watch me. So I think he's enjoying it a lot more than, well, whatever it was that he had previously. It's basically a bare minimum enclosure that I had let get barren, basically. So I'm quite happy with how it is now. These plants are temporary. I will swap them out when I get some desert marigolds and the brittle bush growing. I did buy some fish hook barrel cactus seeds, but those barrel cactus get so large that it's pretty much impractical to put in a viv. They can get 6 foot, so I'm likely to have a barrel cactus just in a plant pot in my room, just to fit my theme. I've actually got a prickly pear pad growing. I say growing, I just stuck it in the ground over there. So I do have one native plant over there. So that is a plant pot at the back left. So I can just pull that grass straight out and replace the plant pot with another one. I'll eventually be happy. I think any decent keeper is never going to be happy with their vivs. I think you can say that for certain, that you're never going to get to the point where you're completely happy and you don't want to change things. Give it like a month or two and you want to improve, you want to change things. It's also why I struggle with people who say they've been doing it for 30 years and they haven't changed. Oh, the lights, the timer just turned it off for night time, there we go. It's also why I struggle with people who say they've been keeping for 30 years and they haven't changed their husbandry. How do you not have the impulse? How do you not have the urge to improve and change? Like, I can't leave it 6 months without changing it, let alone 30 years.